Well, let's go towards like the big one for Israel, and that is the U.S. ambassador to Israel, none other than Mike Huckabee. Let's see, Governor Mike Huckabee, former governor
Yes,
of
he's going to be the
Arkansas,
U.S. ambassador to Israel.
former governor of Arkansas, Fox show host, whose daughter was the spokesman for the president and is now governor of Arkansas. Here he is a few years ago talking about Judea and Samaria.
Personally, and I'm speaking only as a person, I think Israel would only be acting on the property it already owns. I think Israel has title deed to Judea and Samaria. There are certain words I refuse to use. There is no such thing as a West Bank. It's Judea and Samaria. There's no such thing as a settlement. They're communities, they're neighborhoods, they're cities. There's no such thing as an occupation.
That they get out of their minds that people are living in lean-tos and tents, sleeping in cars, circled around a tree. They're living in very well-designed and beautiful cities and communities. Can't wait to get back. I'm going to take an extra hat. I'm going to get it to President-elect Trump. Build Israel great again. Who knows? We may see him wear this out there in one of his rallies somewhere. I don't know. Can't promise that. I can only promise he will get a copy of the hat. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that was Mike Huckabee then. Let's hear him now, because he was just on Fox talking about his appointment.
Thank you. Now,
let me move it forward a little bit.
Israeli people and commitment to the unbreakable bond between America and Israel than him. Joining us with more, President Trump's nominee to be ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. Governor, I agree with your daughter. I think she is a better governor and a lot smarter than me, so we both take second place. But in all seriousness, I look at Israel, the size of the state of New Jersey, and I look at them now battling a 4 or 5 front war between Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad in the north, you got Hamas out of Gaza in the south, you got the Houthi rebels, and you got ballistic missiles being fired directly from Iran that is, supplying all of this weaponry because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris allowed them to get rich by not enforcing sanctions. How quickly do you believe Donald Trump can impact that conflict in the Middle East?
Sean, I think he's impacting that conflict before he's even sworn in. You're seeing a scrambling all over the Middle East of countries suddenly trying to behave differently because they know a new sheriff has come to town, and this isn't a one-bullet Barney with a bullet in his shirt pocket.
That's 2 metaphors in a row, okay? New sheriff is in town, and it's not a one-bullet Barney. I have no idea what a one-bullet Barney is.
Yeah.
I mean, you're from Texas, Malkah, so maybe
I mean, I would guess, but I'm scared to get it wrong. So keep going. Let's just
one-bullet Barney. This is not a one-bullet Barney. I tell you that much. But the other phrase I do know, which is there's a new sheriff in town, and we all know what that means.
This is the real deal. I mean, this is Donald Trump that they are afraid of, and I'm just ecstatic that he has asked me to be part of what I think is going to be not just a realignment of political parties and many institutions in America, but really the world, to bring peace that we desperately need. And quite frankly, when I look at all these people that he's picked, I'm incredibly impressed with all of them. I feel like that I'm a 1995 Ford pickup trying to enter the Indy 500. I don't see myself in the same view as I do some of these wonderful people he's picked, but I'm honored beyond even description to be able to serve my country and this president in a nation that I've been traveling to since July of 1973, when I was 17, made about 100 trips there, and I couldn't be more grateful to this president for giving me the opportunity to serve the country and him.
Oh, well, I'm sure you're going to work very closely with my friend Steve Witkoff. He was announced today as the special envoy to the Middle East. Like you, he knows the area well. I think, one of the more interesting picks will be Elise Stefanik. And I've never been a globalist. I find the UN to be historically virulently anti-Semitic and anti-American. I don't trust the WHO. We know they covered for China during COVID. I don't like the WEF. I never liked the Paris Accords. The Iranian deal is asinine, the worst deal ever made. So I would imagine if the Elise Stefanik that lectured the pro-Hamas professors before Congress, if that Elise Stefanik shows up at the United Nations, that's going to be a little bit of a shakeup, the likes of which maybe we haven't seen in our lifetime. That could be entertaining.
It'll be very entertaining, but more importantly, it's going to be a great revelation of what's wrong at the UN and why for many years I've never understood why we kept dumping money into it. I've often said get a jackhammer, hammer the thing right off and float it into the East River and invite any country who thinks they could enjoy it to have it. She's not going to be invited to a lot of after 5 cocktail parties in Manhattan where she'll be saluted by the swells. But that's not why she's going, and it's why she's going to be terrific in that position. She's bold, strong, unafraid, and will take nothing off of any of them. And we need to be bold. There's no reason that you have people like Iran and communist China on human rights committees talking about human rights when they violate them more than anybody. So it's time for a complete reset of our internal and international relationships. That's what Donald Trump is clearly setting out to do. And I couldn't be more delighted to see this take place.
Well, one thing that has to happen if the world ever wants to have real peace and safety and security, we can never allow the Iranian mullahs with their radicalism to get nuclear weapons, which they are desperately seeking. And they have got to be stopped. They are the #1 state sponsor of terror. I'd cut off their money, and if they keep firing missiles at Israel, it's time to take out their refineries, take out their nuclear sites, and the world will be a better and safer place, in my humble opinion. Congratulations, Governor. I guess I should say Ambassador. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
Awesome clip there of Huckabee on Hannity. And I think he said something there that is very, very important, which is, Hannity said it, and it's true, which is what the Trump administration did the first time around is what's got to continue. And that is actually so simple. Cut off the funding. Cut off the funding. Cut off the funding to the Palestinian Authority. Cut off the funding to the United Nations. Cut off the funding to maybe Qatar that funds anti-America, anti-Israel, pro-jihad network called Al Jazeera. Like, take the money away. Oh, and of course, cut off Iran. The Obama, Biden, Harris folks, they fed the Iranian mullah regime to the tune of $250 billion, a lot of it in cash. So that has to stop. Just pull that money back. The UN sits in New York cursing Israel day in, day out, bringing nothing useful to this world. And it's funded, I think I heard 60% of the UN's funding is the United States. It might be even more. And it certainly sits in the United States, in New York, on great property. It's like, come on.